Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me go ahead and play our splash video for introductions, and then real introductions happen right after this video. Welcome, 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 welcome to another episode of Tarot by Hilary Live. I am your hostess with the mostest, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. So on this episode of the broadcast, we are going to try and keep it as tight, as short, as sweet as possible because my husband is a Knicks fan and it's game two. A little behind the scenes there. But we are, for the first time in the broadcast, recapping a deck that we did an unboxing on. So this particular deck that we are revisiting tonight, and it's going to be different from a revisitation video that I've done in the past where it is not sight unseen, where I've just gone and like kind of revisited decks that are in my collection, but like it's not a true unboxing necessarily. This is a little bit different because this is a deck that I unboxed about 2 months ago, sight unseen, and then I worked with it for about 2 months, doing card of the day pulls from this particular deck over the last 2 months. And so I have, at this point, have formulated my opinions after working with the deck. So the unboxing video is first impressions of the deck, sight unseen as I open it up, and it's my first time looking at the major arcana, and then looking through specific cards in the deck that I personally need to like the look of in order to, say, purchase the deck. Fortunately, in my tarot career at this point, I do have deck publishers sending me along reviewer copies, and I'm always very transparent about this. So this particular one, the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann Donnelly, I picked up at Cozy Coven in Sleepy Hollow. So I did, in fact, purchase this for myself. I purchased this one, and then I also purchased the Crow Tarot as well, which is June's Deck of the Month for Card of the Day pulls. But tonight, we are recapping my experience with the Light Seers Tarot over the last 2 months, and then we're also doing an exclusive spread to made specifically for the Light Seers Tarot that appears in its guidebook. So if that sounds good to you guys, please give me a hell yeah in the chat. First of all, we want to do the 3 pillars of our particular live stream here, which is the astro-weather from Teresa Reed's wonderful AstroBiz Digest, $99 for a year-long subscription, astrology in layman's terms, straight to your email inbox. It is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, but I have found it to be very helpful in planning both my personal life and my professional life as well. So we will start with the general transits that are going on for this week, get into the nitty-gritty for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we will take a look if anyone has any particular questions and wants to know, hey, why was Monday weird or Tuesday weird? I will take a peek at the AstroBiz Digest for you. Then we'll do the mid-episode reading, where one lucky viewer wins a free 3-card reading live on the broadcast. More than likely it's going to be dealer's choice, not dealer's choice, that would be me. But if people want their reading from the Light Seers Tarot, we can do that, considering that's the deck that we're discussing tonight. Or I can also do a reading from the Crow Tarot, or I can do a reading from my workhorse deck, which is the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith. A little bit earlier today, I went on my Instagram and I did a part 4 of how many decks do I have, and I think it might be our final one. It might not be, but we have a count right now. Does anyone want to guess in the chat how many decks I own? Welcome to Fran. Hello, Fran. Sorry I'm late. We were finishing up dinner. Not a problem. We are just getting started. We're only 5 minutes in. It's fine. So we will do the mid-episode reading with viewer's choice or winner's choice, because I do have the last 91 to no, I'm not going to give spoilers, and like I want to see you guys guess in the chat. I'm not going to tell you, but part 4, I have a bunch of different tarot decks to hand right now, but I did finish with my workhorse deck, which is the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith. So hold on one second. Let me make sure I pull up my overlay. Not a true unboxing episode today, by the way. It is more of a recapping of my work with this particular deck. Fran is guessing in the chat 157. I'm going to tell you it's lower than that. I will let you know, higher or lower. So Fran's guess is 157. I'll leave that question for you guys to answer over the chorus of the episode. So mid-episode reading, and then our weekend forecast is when I pull an oracle card for us to enter into the weekend prepared and not scared. And then in the midst of all of that, we will be talking about, of course, the Light Seers Tarot and recapping the Light Seers Tarot. But those are the 3 pillars, no matter what happens. Now, sometimes one pillar will fall, but the other 2 will be in place. And sometimes that pillar is the mid-episode reading, depending on interest in the chat. Sometimes it's a little bit quieter, or sometimes there are less attendees, or sometimes people are very generous and just like, nah, I don't feel like it, or like, no, you're good. Let's skip over the mid-episode reading. So it really does depend. But most of the time, 2 out of the 3 pillars are honored here on the broadcast. Do I get a second guess? Of course you get a second guess. You get as many guesses as you want to. Okay, so while we are waiting for more guesses, let me do a quick tech check, make sure everything's working. I see that the Book of Face is working. Let me check the Tube of View, which I'm sure is working, because I probably got a little alerty alert. I should have gotten an alert. What's going on? Easiest way to check is on my phone. Yep, it looks like it's working. Gotta check. Yep. 'Tis working. 'Tis working fine. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right, so while we're waiting for guesses, let's move into the astro-weather from Teresa Reed from her wonderful AstroBiz Digest. Like I said before, astrology in layman's terms, straight to your email inbox. And let me pull that up here. Okay. Let me take down the overlay very, very quickly. Yeah, so if you want the AstroBiz Digest for yourself, $99 for your long subscription, you would go to Teresa Reed's website, thetarolady.com/AstroBiz Digest. It's displayed on the screen right now, and it is also in the chats. Okay, so let us take a peeks at the astrology. For some reason, it really felt very Mercury in retrograde lately, but I know that it isn't, because Mercury is in Gatorade at the end of this month. So maybe it was just the remnants of the second full moon of May that was getting us a little bit cray cray. I don't know. It's been a little weird. It's been a little hinky over the last couple of days. I'm not going to lie. All right. So the only major change this week is Mercury's move into Cancer on the 1st. See, I can blame Mercury in some way, shape, or form, even if it's not in Gatorade. Mercury's move into Cancer on the 1st. This means communication needs to be filtered through the sensitivity lens. So if you're wondering why people are being so sensitive, it's because Mercury is in Cancer. Conversations, emails, marketing, keep it kind and your business will thrive. Keep in mind, some people will be crabby, of course. Mercury being in Cancer is a sign of the crab. Don't let that dim your light. Shine on. Very good advice. So that's the major change this week. Mercury in Cancer. That happened on the 1st. All right, so for Friday, June 5th, today, start off your day with projects that require concentration. The Moon-Saturn sextile at 10:51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time provides the discipline to muscle through big tasks. At 12 p.m., the Moon squares Mars, putting the public in an ugly mood. It's not great for marketing, so hold off for a few hours. That explains a lot too, because we had our Pharaoh readings over on Instagram and that just didn't happen. We didn't have much. So instead, I decided to do part 4 of how many tarot decks do I have. So I've already given you a little peek, a little clue, a little hint. Part 4 started at number 91. So you can do your second guess at any time, Fran. So at noon, the Moon squared Mars, putting the public in an ugly mood. It's not great for marketing, so hold off for a few hours. The Moon trines the Sun and stations void at 3:51 p.m. This is a long void moon, best for rest or finishing projects already in motion. Don't push yourself or start anything new. If you try to launch, it will most likely fall flat. Today, Friday, June 5th, is a power day for Aquarius and a weak day for Leo. That explains so much, honestly, guys, because I was trying to sit down and get some work done and just like nothing was working. Like my motivation was gone. Now, the true professionals don't wait for motivation to hit. They create it, they generate it on their own. If it's lacking, there is that. But, sometimes we don't want to fight the astrology. We want to work with the astrology, not against it. So, okay. I don't feel right guessing without Katie. Fair enough. So I won't let you guys know. I mean, the actual answer is over on my Instagram. So if you want to spoiler it yourself, that's fine. But don't put your answers, don't put the answer into the chat right now. Let it be spoiler free if people want to guess. All right, so for Saturday starts with a void moon as well. Take it easy, tie up loose ends, and finish what you started. At 8:43 p.m., the moon slides into Pisces, your best lunation for creative work or self-care. Sunday's lone aspect happens at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At that time, the moon trines Mercury, ideal for creative writing. Drill down and you can batch a bunch of content before the day is done. Saturday is a power day for Aquarius and a weekday for Leo, as well as Friday. And Sunday is a power day for Pisces and a weekday for Virgo. All right. Does anyone have any questions, any wonderings about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? I will take a quick peeksy peeks. And then we will move on to recapping the Light Seers Tarot and trying out one of the exclusive tarot spreads that comes with the deck in the guidebook. And I just have piles and piles of tarot decks next to me. If that's like a clue. And I probably should organize these a little bit so that I can put them away so I have a nice clear workstation before we leave for the night. Oh, Katie is here. So hello, Katie. Fran would like you to guess how many tarot decks or how many decks I have, because I did include Lenormand decks, Oracle card decks, Kipper, I included pretty much everything. So it's not just tarot decks. Yay! Good to know. Finally, the Book of Face notification actually worked. It also helps that I did pre-schedule, like I promised you guys I would. I took that promise very, very seriously, and I made sure, like, oh, I've got to, before I shut down my computer, I will schedule next week's episode. Fran is very happy to see you, and so am I, of course. So yeah, we have guesses in the chat of how many tarot decks I have for part 4 of how many decks I have. So Fran's first guess was 157. I will say it is less. It is less. And the other hint you'll get is part 4 started with number 91. So the correct number is between 91 and 157. So it narrows it down a little bit. I don't know if we're playing actual Price is Right rules. Katie's guess is 139. All right, Katie's guess is 139. Lower. So Fran guessed 157. Katie guessed 139. You are allowed as many guesses as you want. I'm not going to spoil it for people. And I'm hoping that I didn't actually duplicate, because that was my biggest concern, was besides getting to that final number. Yeah, me too, right? Fran says, I'm surprised. Me too. If you thought I had more tarot decks than that, like honestly, when I did the Insta Live, and I got to the final count, I'm just like, okay, like this is so much better than I thought. 127. I said it was lower than 123, Fran. I had said it was lower. I gave you another hint. So I really thought it was like over 200. Like without actually counting, I thought it was going to be over 200 and it's not. So it's a little bit better than I thought, even though when I did come out into the living room and give Mr. Tarot by Hilary the number, he was like, God damn. And I'm just like, oh, well, I thought that was actually a little bit more manageable, but I guess not. Yeah, you missed that? But anyway, I'm really hoping that I didn't double count anything. So I had my lists going. Right, exactly. Thanks for making me feel a little bit worse. Over 100 seems so many anyway. I have, I think, 6 or 7, and I'm lost. That's fair. 117, lower. Lower again, lower. Fair enough, Fran. All right, good for you. I'm also a little drunk. That's fine. All right, so I will keep the guessing going in the chats, and then just let me know if you want the actual answer. So we are recapping my experience with the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann Donnelly. Really, really beautiful tarot deck. Reimagined, a reimagining of the traditional tarot archetypes and symbols in this contemporary boho and intuitive style. It expresses light and shadow sides of our natures and explores the lessons that can be learned from both. Fran says 109, higher. Katie says 108, higher. You guys are almost there. So this particular deck, the Light Seers Tarot, the more I looked at it, the more that I worked with it, the more things that I would find in the different cards. So like very specifically, and the only way I noticed this was from the box itself, was like, look at, so like if you're looking at the cover girl, which is the High Priestess card, you know, it looks like she's got eyeshadow, right? Because if you like curve it around, it looks like her eyes are closed and there's eyeshadow. But then when you look even closer, her eyes, like there's like almost like an optical illusion. And now I can't unsee it, where her eyes are almost open as well while they're closed. So there was like little things like that that I noticed, that on first glance I didn't. So I was really glad that I actually worked with this for 2 months instead of just 1 month. And that was just simply happenstance that, you know, my retail job was a little bit like crazy. And so my tarot stuff fell to the wayside. And so that's the reason why I worked with this deck for 2 months instead of 1 month. And I'm kind of glad that I did. So there's very much an emphasis in this particular deck about light and shadow, light seer and the shadow side, what you could call upright and reversed. Yes, exactly. Like eyes on the eyelids. Right, exactly. Hmm. And now, of course, I can't unsee it. So it's like a little bit creepy, but a little bit cool at the same time, especially for it being the High Priestess, where it's just like, even if her eyes are closed, she's seeing with a different, with her intuition, you know? And in particular with the Light Seers Tarot, even though there were interpretations for both upright and reversed, or in her terminology, light and shadow, the light seer and shadow seer, um, I, for some reason, didn't feel the need to shuffle reversals into this deck. And I've gotten to the point now where it's just like the deck will kind of tell me. It'll tell me whether or not it wants to be read with reversals. And for this particular deck, it just didn't seem, you know, necessary to shuffle in the reversals to make it like obvious. I feel like it's a very like subtle deck, or more of a subtle deck than I originally thought it was going to be. Now, not every card in this deck is going to have that like sit up and pay attention like quirk that, like, for example, the High Priestess has. But like the more you look at the imagery on each and every card, the more you will see, which I really enjoyed. Now, for those of you who have been following along or getting your card of the day from my social media, were there any particular standouts to your mind, any particular cards that you were just like, ooh, that's really unusual, that's an unusual visual depiction of this card, or that card makes me think differently about that particular, tarot meaning? And Katie wins. Let's go. Special number 111 as my last guess. That is how many? That is the number. 111. Mm-hmm. Which I think is very, very, besides it being special, it's also magical. Like the 111, like repeating numbers. Like, of course it's going to be a repeating number as the very last card. And so I specifically chose my workhorse deck to be the last one I counted, which was the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith. That's my go-to workhorse deck. If you guys book a reading with me, it's more than likely, like 95% of the time, unless of course you don't specifically ask for a deck, it'll more than likely be the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith or the Reflective Tarot, which is the mini version of it that has iridescence to it. So that's the count. And hopefully I hadn't double counted at any point. It's possible. It's just not likely because I did try and write every single deck down. Like a couple of standouts for the Light Seers Tarot. I do remember pulling this particular card. The Page of Pentacles. Actually, you know what? I don't think I pulled the Page of Pentacles for card of the day, but I know I was, this is actually one of the few decks that I've worked with, I've used for like email readings with my clients. And I do remember pulling the Page of Pentacles in particular for someone, and how it was depicted as almost like a little clawfoot of like tendrils of vines, and that's like the grounding force, like that changed my interpretation a little bit of the Page of Pentacles specifically for that context of reading. Yep, exactly, Katie. Angel number. Like the Three of Swords of that heartbreak. Like, I don't think I've ever quite seen the anguish of the Three of Swords. It's not a very pleasant card, but it certainly has an impact. I'm you're testing my memory on remembering the cards. I know there were so many great card pulls over the last 2 months. And keep in mind that not every card is going to come up over a 60-day period. In fact, you're going to probably get repeats more than likely. So unfortunately, if you're only doing a card of the day, you're only going to get 30 cards over a month's time, 30 or 31 cards over a month's time. If you're doing 2 months, 60 to 62. So, there are certain cards that didn't come up for us. But like, for example, here, the Page of Cups, like little piggy flying, like gives me that phrase, when pigs fly. It's a little bit different depiction of the Page of Cups, where it's usually a dude talking to a fish in a cup. but the point is made. A little bit surrealist. This is lovely too. Like the Six of Cups. Six of Cups, I don't remember receiving at all over the last 2 months, but like the Six of Cups is typically a card of nostalgia and wishing for childhood. And look, it's like a kind of very airy, you know, reminiscing about, being a boy with their puppy. Like that's really sweet. The star, I mean, like the star is absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, other than individual cards, I will say that the card stock is really, really nice. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. It has a nice smoothness to it, so it's very easy to shuffle without being too overly slippery. And I believe that one of our plans for this recap, besides trying out one of the exclusive tarot spreads from the guidebook, was also asking a question about the deck itself with the exclusive tarot spread. So, in particular, we have a couple of different options here, but my eyes were drawn to there a two card spread, which is I think it was the light and shadow spread. Of course, shuffling all the way in the back here. So there are quite a few different spreads in here. So there's the light of the day draw, which would be the card of the day, which you saw over the last 2 months if you follow me on Tarot by Hilary, at Tarot by Hilary on most social media platforms. Daily message of light. Draw a card and place it upright or reversed as pulled. What message of light do you have for me today? Now, most of the time when I pull card of the day, I am asking the question, since it's a more general reading for anyone that would be reading or seeing that particular image on my social media, I'm asking not just for myself, though the cards have definitely come for me before, but for everyone. What do people most need to know today? People that are seeing this, what is the message that they most need to hear today? Now, that also goes for me. So sometimes it will be very pointed towards me, and sometimes it will be very pointed towards me, but then I will get feedback from you guys saying, oh no, that was for me. And I'm just like, okay, but also that was for me too. But also that was for me. So we all can get called out by the tarot, several of us all on the same day from the same card. Yeah, exactly. That's quite an impacting swords card. You can feel the cutting. Oh, the Three of Swords. Yeah. Sorry, my network or something is lagging. I'm behind. It's fine. It's fine. It might be me too. You never know. Remember, Mercury is in Cancer right now. Sensitivity. It's a little bit in its feels. It's a little bit in its feels. Just saying. So there's a light of the day draw. Then the one that I was attracted to, and we can talk about this, light and shadow spread. So that you place cards in their upright and reversed light seer and shadow seer positions on purpose. So card number 1 and card number 2. Card number 1 is upright and card number 2 is reversed. Light seer is where is the greatest opportunity for light in this situation. And then the second card is Shadow Seer, place in Shadow Seer position, so reversed. Where is the greatest opportunity to heal shadow in this situation? So if you happen to be doing shadow work or want to do shadow work, this might be a good deck for you to work with. So this is from Chris Ann. Of course, you can choose to place the cards as you draw them too. I know it's unorthodox, but I find the most healing messages come through when we force the reversals and uprights in a reading. That's very interesting. Not something that I've seen. It's definitely unorthodox, but I'm willing to give it a try if you guys are. So that's a light and shadow spread. There's also the light worker illumination spread, which is a 3-card reading. Grounding card is placed as it is pulled. Where am I right now? Number 1. Shadow Seer is placed in the Shadow Seer position, as in reversed. What shadows need to be cleared before the situation can be resolved, and that goes underneath. And then Illumination goes on top of the first card, and it's placed in the Light Seer position, so upright. This card represents the energy needed for the best possible outcome. So it's a modification of a 3-card spread. And then there's 2 more. There's Calling in Love spread, which is for recognizing love. What qualities will my future partner have? There's Seeking Light. Where can I seek them? Who will they remind me of? Blocking Love, which is underneath, placed in Shadow Seer, so reverse position. What shadow aspect of mine is blocking this union? And then number 4, which is placed above 1 and 2 in Light Seer position, so upright. What qualities do I possess that will attract my partner? I might have to pull out that particular spread for romance readings the next time someone asks, because that's definitely a popular question. I don't enjoy doing them, but that doesn't mean I'm not good at them. I just don't enjoy doing them. But hey, it's not, I'm getting paid for my clients reading, not readings that I particularly like or don't like to do. So just call me a tarot mercenary in that way. But like, honestly, you kind of want a tarot mercenary. You want someone that will just tell you what they're seeing in the cards. Like, I know when I first started reading that I really thought like my tough love kind of tell it like it is style was going to be a hindrance to my work. And in fact, it's probably my greatest strength and the reason why people keep coming back to me. Because I'm not going to, if I don't see it in the cards, I'm not going to tell you something's in the cards if I'm not seeing something in the cards. Anyway, and then the final exclusive tarot spread from the Light Seers guidebook is the Soul Joy spread, another 3-card reading. Number 1 is the gift, placed in Light Seer position. What can I give to the world? Number 2 is underneath. Number 3, illumination, placed in Shadow Seer position, so reversed. What can I illuminate for others? And then number 3, lessons of joy, placed in the middle, and as it's pulled, so either upright or reversed, however the cards fall. Where can my lessons of joy be uncovered? Very, very interesting, guys. Yeah, the shadow reading could also be a way to stop yourself from concentrating on your dark views of something. That's true. That's true. So, do we want to play a little bit and move these concepts into the mid-episode reading? Eh? Or do we want to ask the deck what it feels? It's a little bit of giving your tarot deck sentience, but like I kind of want to see the vibes of like if you choose to work with the Light Seer Tarot, or I'm probably going to keep it more personal to me, where it's just like, now that I've done this exploration over the last 2 months, like, how can I use this deck with my clients? Because we can do both. We can do either, we can do both. Let me know either way. Because I can do whoever wins chooses which deck to be read from and also which spread. Like, oh, too many choices, too much information, too many choices. I think while we wait, maybe, maybe I'll do that reading, the the light and shadow reading, and we'll do the mid episode reading. I think that will keep us all honest. All right. So I'm going to put 3 minutes and 33 seconds on the timer here. So it is the mid episode reading. So if you'd like to be considered for a free 3-card reading live here on the broadcast, comment tarot, TAROT, TAROT. Say that three times fast, into the chat, and then our little lottery jar will put your profile into there. And in about 3 minutes, we will pick a winner. But while we're waiting for that, while we're doing that, let's take a look at the light and shadow. So, where is the greatest opportunity for light in using the Light Seers Tarot? Okay, that's number one. And then shadow seer is, where is the greatest opportunity to heal shadow from using the Light Seers? All right. So once again, position number one is, where'd you go? Where is the greatest opportunity for light? Eight of Pentacles. Okay. And where is the greatest opportunity to heal shadow? This is definitely a reading for me. Temperance reversed. Tarot definitely has a sense of humor in this particular instance because I am not a patient person. So Martha is also here. So Fran is in the running and Martha is in the running for a free 3-card reading live on the broadcast. So really quickly, since we've got 30 seconds left for people to enter, let me give myself this little reading from the light and shadow spread. So where is the greatest opportunity for light by using the Light Seers Tarot? We're getting the 8 of Pentacles, which typically is a card of discipline and hard work and like putting your nose to the grindstone, like being practical. There you go, right there, the 8 of Pentacles. Literally it's almost like being at the desk and doing the things, but it's like got bowls of herbs, a mortar and pestle, plants, a candle, a quill, piles of paper. Like, oh my God, is this the desk of a tarot reader or what? So mastering a skill, an expert, craftsmanship, the Meraki, by the way, is another tarot deck that I have. The Meraki that you put into your work, the spirit that you put into your work, methodical progress, patience and determination, and soul purpose. Patience and determination are the best ways to ensure your success. Mastering the skill takes time and perseverance, and shortcuts are not the best path forward as you build your experience. Remain dedicated to excellence and to developing your unique form. Study, practice, improve, and thrive. Put your Meraki, your love, your soul, and your energetic essence into your work and bring it in a consistent, methodical way. Perfect your craft and imbue joy into the repetitive things that you find yourself doing. Find flow in the details no matter what it is that you find yourself dedicated to. With loving determination, I persevere and I become the person I long to be. How very, very perfect. So like I said, like this is a reading personal to me because it's about working with the Light Seers Tarot. What is the, again, that positional meaning was, where'd you go? Positional meaning for that is where's the greatest opportunity for light in working with the Light Seers Tarot? It's telling me to use it with my clients, which I have been doing. So that's like kind of perfect. All right. And now, of course, it's telling me to have patience. Where's the greatest opportunity to heal shadow in the situation? I'm getting the Temperance card intentionally reversed. So looking at reversed or shadow seer, clashing interests, oil and water, extremes, disharmony, a need to practice moderation in some aspect of your life. Yep. Severity, polarity, and impatience. Don't do drastic right now. We live in a world of extreme passions and heated hustle, so slowing down the desire for excess in any one area of your life may be harder than you think. Yeah, I have been a little bit workaholic lately. Don't do drastic right now. Stay away from all or nothing choices, okay? Clearing your energy of extremes will foster a dynamic, nourishing flow that is aligned with your perfect alchemical purpose. Seek equilibrium and be mindful of your resources while fusing all of the elements to achieve a beautiful balance. Clashing interests, oil and water, a need to practice moderation. That's just rude. Anyway. Okay, so that is, yes, very magical deck and a very magical desk. Okay, so yes, exactly. Don't chop off your hair. Wasn't planning on it. It's growing out a little bit, guys. Okay, so let us pull our winner for tonight. All right, Martha, you are the winner of the mid-episode reading. Please go ahead and put your question into the chat, and I will pull 3 cards for you to answer that question or that situation. And welcome to the broadcast, Martha. By the way, Martha, if you are liking the Light Seers Tarot, that's fine. I will do the reading from the Light Seers Tarot, or if you want a more classic vibe, I can also pull out the RWS. Well, I wouldn't say the tarot is always rude, but it's certainly rude to me in public. And while we wait for Martha's question, I'm just going to remind everyone that we do this every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on different metaphysical topics. We do unboxing, we do witchiness, we do magic. We do advice on reading tarot. So go ahead, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. And I can also be found at Tarot by Hilary on most social media platforms as well. And if you did not win, you can just try again next time around, or you can book a reading with me, tarotbyhilary.com. All right, we have Martha's question. Martha thanks me so much. Awesome. You're very welcome. Can I have just a general read? I am open to anything. Okay, general reading for you from the Light Seers Tarot. So what I usually like to do with a tarot deck that I'm not as familiar with, but listen, I'm getting there with the Light Seers. I'm really enjoying the Light Seers Tarot. It's going to go into heavy rotation. But I am a tarot reader. Ooh, that one is for you, for sure. Wow, the Hanged Man. Okay. It's okay. That's a little flyer card. So I have been doing tarot professionally for the last 20 years. So I know my tarot, but sometimes when you are working with a newer deck, you kind of want to take a look at the guidebook to see what interpretations the artist or the creator of the deck has to say for those particular cards, especially if they deviate from regular Rider-Waite-Smith iconography or symbology. So I'm going to give my interpretation first based on my 20 years of reading tarot, and then I'm going to go to the guidebook for you. All right, so general reading for Martha. We already have the Hanged Man pulled out. So Hanged Man is usually a time of a little bit stagnation. The timing of the universe is not vibing with what you currently want to do. So there might be some frustration about that. Ooh, wow, powerful reading here. It's almost like you're surrounded by watery elements on both sides. I will explain why in a second, because I've got the cards down here. You know, one of these days I should invest in a camera that goes above the reading, so you can like see my face, but you can also then see the cards, so I don't have to like hold up each one individually each time. But yeah, so first of all, the Hanged Man is coming up for you. So we have the Hanged Man here. Typically, so this particular Hanged Man is like doing aerial silks, which is kind of cool. Definitely a visual difference to the Rider-Waite-Smith version. And she's kind of hanging over these like different symbols, or almost like, it almost looks like a pond of different light symbols, almost like a moon glow. And so the Hanged Man is really about like taking a different perspective, especially when you're feeling stuck or feeling stagnated or feeling like you're out of step with like how you want things to be. And I often see with the Hanged Man energy where it's just like hold, like it has a very strength, hang in there kitten kind of vibe sometimes with my clients, because I'm just like, listen, when you look back to this Hanged Man energy where you're feeling like on a precipice, and you're just like waiting for the movement to happen, like you will look back on this time and be like, oh my God, everything has been going at such a breakneck speed. I kind of wish for that Hanged Man kind of limbo-y feeling, so that it's like a little bit slower, a little bit more, you know, like it's almost like that breath of the universe where it's just like something's happening, something's coming. Why am I thinking like West Side Story, where it's just like there's a song in West Side Story where it's just like something's coming, you know, like that kind of is the Hanged Man energy that I'm seeing for you. So it's not necessarily bad. It just feels a little bit like out of step with what you wanted. Just know that the universe most of the time has a much better plan than we do. And the timing is usually a lot better than what we could personally plan for ourselves. So that's number one. Again, general reading. Number two, second card is the Two of Wands, which is a card of balance. Specifically, Wands is the fire suit, and the fire suit to me, the Wands is the why. Why do you want what you want? Like, and the will, the drive, the determination. So Two of Wands. Usually, this card is depicted as like a figure up on a parapet, and the wands are at their side, and then they're holding like a globe. In this case, it's more of like kind of a reading nook in a way, looking out the windows, looking to the distance beyond, and planning, and not necessarily a card of prudence, but it can be, but it's just like having that patience and, crossing those T's, dotting those I's. It's almost like it has this sense of like travel plans and seeing the world, but it's just like, but you still have to pack your bags, and you still have to like learn the language, and you still have to, so there's some prep work that needs to be done. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get it. That doesn't mean that it's not happening. It's just like, there's just some further prep work that needs to be done. And then finally, you're getting the moon. So this is the reason why I was saying, like, it's just like very watery, and then fire, like your fire is surrounded by water. So the moon is typically a card of intuition, but it's like there's always something going on under the surface with the moon. You see, like, typically it's the lake, and the moon is shining onto the lake. And so you can only see the surface of the lake, but you can't really see what's going on underneath. And in this case, with this particular card, with this particular tarot deck, you are seeing the depths. It's almost like this person is like half woman and half mermaid, like just based on the dress or the folds of the dress. Like, it looks very like, is that a dress or is that a tail? Is she like is she changing? Is she changing from woman to mermaid? And with this particular card coming up, it's just like there is a card. It's a card of secrets, but it is a card of like feminine intuition as well. The moon card often can come up as well with fear. With being afraid to do the thing that you want to do, being afraid of possibly even your intuition, which can be a block to your intuition. I firmly believe that everyone has intuition, but sometimes we have experiences with our intuition that it's just like, how did I know that? And instead of being in awe or wonder of like, how did I know that? It's almost like that uncertainty, or that like, oh wow, like that feels very like uncomfortable, because it's like, how did I know that? Okay, I'm going to just take these devil's Uno cards and like stick them in a drawer somewhere and like not touch them, because it's just like, oh wow, that's like, it's almost like your greatest fear is of your own power right now. So I know you asked for a general reading, but like, this is as general as the Light Seers Tarot is wont to be. There's certainly some things that are coming up for you. Just know with the moon card is in like the near future position. So there are secrets going on. There is more going on underneath the surface, but that's sometimes not a bad thing. Like, let people have their secrets. A little mystery sometimes is a good thing. All right. So that's my interpretation. Let's go to the guidebook for these particular cards. So the Hanged Man, surrendering to the will of the cosmos, an intentional pause, reflection, letting go, embracing the new, realigning with your heart and purpose, new wisdom found, spiritual teachings, sacrifice, and enlightenment. Those are some key words. Flow with it. Divine wisdom spills forth in moments of deep flow, and the Hanged Man is offering you the chance to look at something from a completely different perspective. When you let go of that thing that's got you stuck, you will make space for new insights and vantages to shift into place. Open your heart to the bigger plan, and you'll inadvertently tap into a whole new framework from which to see the world. Know that your path and your dream may look unfamiliar to you after you relinquish the need to direct the outcomes. Surrender to the will of the cosmos and realign your life with its sacred patterns. The universe already knows which life altering lesson is the key to your happiness, and your higher self has so much wisdom for you when you intentionally pause to listen. An affirmation that goes along with this card, which is also something that I really like about the Light Seers Tarot, is there is an affirmation for every single one of the 7 date tarot cards. Very cool. So the affirmation for this card is, I lean into my inner world of limitless miracles, surrendering to the divine will of the cosmos. Now for the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is planning your future, making progress, activation, possibilities, and the choice between your comfort zone and new adventures. Yeah, that's another aspect of the Two of Wands. You need to make a choice to really do the thing that you want to do. Do that thing you want to do or not. You can dream it and envision it, or you can begin to live it. Planning and imagining can have us feeling like the observers of a dream, and our action is the only way to bring that dream to life. It's time to choose between the wand that's cozily rooted in the place you already know, or the one that leans into exciting new possibilities. Take a deep breath, because self-initiated change can be scary. The only way to take strides towards your goal is to make your move. Learn that thing, call that contact, make that decision. Non-action won't get you there and will likely have you feeling the angst of dreaming the dream instead of walking the talk. Use the fire energy of the wands to initiate your shift. Affirmation with this card is, the world is filled with opportunities for adventure, and I welcome them into my life with planned action. And finally, the Moon card. 2 out of the 3 major arcanas for a 3-card reading is pretty much a sit up and pay attention reading to my mind. So you were meant to get this particular reading at this particular time, Martha. The Moon, illusions, hidden truths, the unknown, trusting your intuition, facing your fears, the watery nature of the unconscious mind, mystery, symbolism, and metaphor, perception, uncertainty, and dreams. When we're faced with uncertainty and illusion, it can feel like we are drowning. Trust that you will be okay, even if you can't seem to distinguish up from down right now. When you stop struggling to see that which you simply cannot see because it remains obscured behind shadows of the moonlight, you'll experience a deep release that will allow you to float to the surface of your truth. The Moon card asks you to go within, find comfort in the darkness, and to calmly listen to the whispers of your own intuition. There is divinity and magic here. When you fall into the moon's still waters, your inner wisdom will embrace you and push you toward the light. She will reinvigorate your creativity and resurrect your spark as long as you go beyond your own fears to find her. Dive into her healing embrace, breathe past insecurities, and let her dimly lit magic guide you home. The affirmation is, I am safe, and I reach new levels of unconscious knowing as I surrender to the will of the universe. There's your general reading, Martha, from the Light Seers Tarot. And that's another lesson for the Light Seers Tarot. It goes deep. It goes deep. This is not necessarily a surface level kind of tarot deck. And there's certainly room for those kind of tarot decks. But the Light Seers Tarot is just not one of those. So thank you so much for being the winner of the mid-episode reading and joining us tonight, Martha. It's lovely to see new people. And thank you for being vulnerable enough to be read for in a public space. I know it is an act of trust and, like I said, vulnerability. And if you would like to go deeper, or if anyone's watching and just like, wow, that was really cool, I want a reading, you can book one, tarotbyhilary.com. All right. Let me shuffle these back in. Notice how I just did my standard 3-card reading for the mid-episode reading. Didn't go into the bells and whistles of the particular specific exclusive tarot spreads to the Light Seers Tarot, because you know what? 3-card reading, it's my bread and butter. It tells you quite a bit. All right. How is everyone feeling? Kept it tight, I think. A little over an hour, but I think it's time to wrap up. Shall we? You're very welcome, Martha. Thank you. It went deep. It sure did. Yeah. I should have given a trigger warning with a tarot trigger warning with this particular deck. It does have a tendency to go deep. All right. Shall we do the weekend forecast? Any other questions or comments about the Light Seers Tarot before we wrap up? Because dang. Yeah, she's going into rotation. She is going into rotation. Good goddamn. Or goddess damn. She's going into rotation. Time for the weekend to start. All right. Nope, all good. Time for the weekend to start. Okay, it's time for the weekend forecast. Does anyone have any particular... We do have the mega. We do have our mega. Those cards happen to be, hold on, work your light and start. 101 and 102 are in here, combined together, the Work Your Light and the Starseed Oracle. Or we can do instant guidance from Rebecca Campbell's website if we're feeling so frisky. Any particular hankerings we got going on in the chat? The mega deck is here. I think we should probably go with the mega deck. It's just easier that way. Yeah, go for the mega deck. I agree. All right. So, let's finish off the Light Seers. But the Light Seers is a tarot deck. Don't worry, Light Seers ain't going anywhere. Final thoughts for the Light Seers? It's a great deck. Great deck. Highly recommend. Really, really glad I purchased it. It's one of those decks that was like calling to me. And, I'm glad I finally have it in my rotation. Just a great just a great deck. Yeah, the mega's in my hand, so that's what we're going with. All right, weekend forecast. All right, what do we most need to know for this weekend? Oh, it's this one. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's that first one. Okay. All right. Message received loud and clear. We are getting Jump In from the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell with artwork by Danielle Noel. Jump In is Andromedan energy, adventure, and saying yes to change. So look at if you look very, very closely, you've got like that, I think it's almost like the eye of God, like galaxy kind of thing. And then you're seeing a splash and you're seeing feet. So it is telling you to jump in, quite literally. All right, from the guidebook. For this weekend, Andromeda is a spiral galaxy, the closest galaxy to the Milky Way. It's believed that Andromedan starseeds are a group of beings who love their freedom. I do love my freedom. Very adaptable, they have a strong willingness and ability to change and go with the flow, to find calm in the chaos, to swim with the tides. This card is here to encourage you to do the same. Perhaps you have a significant goal or opportunity ahead of you. If so, you're being guided to jump in. Don't wait for permission. Don't stall until you feel ready. Take a deep breath, a good old run up, and jump right on in. Life bends for the courageous, and courageous is what you're being called to be. You're already facing the right direction. The only thing left to do is leap. You'll figure out the details as you go along. Things may not always be smooth sailing. Life on Earth rarely is. However, it's the rougher seas that teach us how to sail with glory, and once you know that, you can navigate any sea, ocean, or storm. The Andromedans want you to fall in love with surfing the waves of life, to seek more adventures, to embrace your own adaptability and find a way to be the calm in the chaos. You didn't come to Earth to be passive. You came to Earth to truly live. Now, take a good run up and leap. And the question that goes along with this card is, how can you be more adventurous? How are you being called to jump right on in and leap? So that is your weekend forecast from the Starseed Oracle and from me, Tarot by Hilary. Go on, shake your fist at me. It's fine. I shake my fist at myself and at these damn cards. Yes, exactly. No rest for the wicked, as my mother would say. My mother says that too, I guess. Kind of, sort of. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, we do this every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Book of Face and the Tomb of You. It was my pleasure to bring this episode to you today. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll do it again next week. If you have any recommendations for episodes that you want to see, upcoming episodes you want to see next week or in the future, please let me know. I'm happy to teach any and all topics about divination and tarot and magic and witchcraft and perfume and crystals. And if I don't know it, I will certainly bring in an expert to teach it as well. Yes, exactly. Something to ponder, what we need to jump into. Yeah. If you're not sure, maybe it's time to do some divination about it. Where am I being called to jump in? Or is it just a general jump in every aspect? Like that movie Yes Man, where he's forced to say yes to everything, right? Have a wonderful weekend. And thank you for watching, and you're very, very welcome. Once again, I am Hilary, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Have a fabulous, fabulous weekend and a fabulous week ahead of you. And I will see you again Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.